First question.
Yes.
What is home to you?
Me, home for me is a safe place where I can feel comfortable about myself or my surrounding. Some places just to feel safe.
Home is where I am, and home is where I want to be.
For me, I think it's mostly about like where I feel safe, where I feel comfortable. For me, I just moved to Oslo, so it's I try to like create moments where I feel my best. So I take what I have as my personality, what I like to do, and I like bring it places that I feel safe. So I guess that's home to me, and I would feel that I feel most home and safe in places where I can bring all of these things that I have with me.
A place where you are at peace with yourself.
This is an easy one and also a tricky one at the same time. So if I start with the basic answer, it will be where my family is. But obviously I need to add some ingredients of that because I won't feel home traveling around and being in places where I don't feel comfortable. So adding to the equation of my family, I will say a good coffee mug, for example, some plants, books, all my journals as well, and some pencils, and a fridge full of things that I like to cook. And I know where everything is, so I don't need to be looking for stuff. That will mean that I feel home, where, yeah, I know where all the stuff are. Basically, that's it.
Home to me is any environment that I'm in where I feel like I'm free to be who I am, to most authentically express myself and live in accordance to like my most creative potential. So I feel free to be inspired and to go in directions I never thought possible, to create things that just feel authentic to me. It's hard to describe and hard to put a point on it because it's always changing, but an environment is at its core, whether that's people, places, or things. I think those can change and with time, but as long as the space is conducive to me feeling free to be who I am and not and so for example, I love to run, and so or to prioritize my health, and so as long as I can prioritize my health in some capacity, I'm going to feel a little bit more at home than if I was otherwise like locked in a room and I wasn't able to really go for a run or see the world or be a part of nature. Nature is a huge part of it too. Like the actual geography and nature of things could change, but as long as I'm plugged into nature, I feel a little bit more me. And so as long as I can tap into those potentials and my environment supports that, I'm gonna feel
Home is a place that feels comfortable to step into. It feels like I can relax. And it doesn't have to be like in my hometown necessarily, but somewhere that I feel like I can just let go of everything, kind of, and just relax. Relaxation is important. But it also has to be a place where I feel like that it kind of looks and feels nice, so that I can feel good about it, and I can feel good about bringing people into it, because your home is very personal. And so if it's a place that I don't feel like I can bring my friends and my family to, then it doesn't feel like a home.
Yes, my home is my castle. That's where I live. That's the base of my life. But also the surroundings and friends. Yes.
If you were homeless and had no resources or help from anybody, how would you build a home for yourself?
That's a good question. It's a very difficult question.
It is difficult. Feel free to answer simply.
Yeah. So I think I would try to find people that are in the same situation and like connect with those people. Because personally, for me, I think connections are very important, and so I think that would be my starting point.
Yeah, community.
Yeah, community, exactly.
I would. No help, no resources, no job, I assume.
Start from scratch.
No money, start from scratch. I'd probably head out into the forest. It seems like the best place to go. So, because if I have no money, then that's where the resources are, I suppose, to build a home. Go that direction, or I would try to find a job and make some money so that I could rent a home. Yeah,
That's fine.
that's probably what I would do.
If I was homeless tomorrow and I had no resource or help, how will I build a home for myself? So I think I will try to go slowly to a warm location. That will be the step number one. If I'm not close, I will probably stop cars slowly to reach that point. Maybe fix a bike that I find in the garbage or skate rollers, I don't know, but slowly getting into a place where it is comfortable to be there. And then I will find a forest. I forgot to say that place should have a forest, yeah. A forest or a jungle, something tiny, not crazy with a lot of fierce animals. So yeah, not with big animals, just tiny ones. And then I will be in the countryside of the forest, if that makes sense. Not in the middle of the forest, but just on the side, probably near a river. And with all the wood and branch and stuff that I find around, I will make a tiny tent, and slowly I will make my tent bigger, but I won't need to be inside much. It will be more like outside, and that will be only for sleeping, I guess. I will try to convince you, Jordan, to be my friend so you can build something cool, because you will know how to do it. Bye.
First, I'd get some supports. Probably discarded wood or old metal. Maybe plastic crates, because those would probably be around. Then I would stack them or build a simple frame in a pyramid shape without the top peak. And then I would wrap that in probably old coats or something that was insulating, that was also slightly waterproof. Then I put a tarp over that. That would be the first temporary. And then I would make a mobile version with wheels, and I would probably build it into a bike, and that would be encapsulated. And I would have probably sheet steel, which would probably have to come from scraps. I might have to talk somebody letting me use their welder. Then I would weld almost like an Airstream camper on the back of a bike, and then it would be enough for me to stand inside of, and I could get in and lay down in there. Then I would have shelving built the whole way up the sides. And if I eventually got enough resources, I would add an electric motor to that. And I would have a heater in there, which would be from a solar panel, which I'd probably have to steal from somebody.
That's really difficult. I think it's hard to build a home from nothing, but it is achievable. When I think about what makes me feel at home, it's first like who am I around? Am I able to connect with people? Do I have any type of support? So I feel like because humans are like a social species, and I am very much that way. We lean on each other, we create things together, and it's very hard to build something from scratch on your own. So finding people that are also in search of finding a home or building a home for themselves and like working together, leaning on each other to create something would be important. Because even if everything else is stripped away, I don't have the luxury of creating something or just enjoying nature or whatever it might be. I could be in really cold temperatures under a bridge and have nothing, but if I had people there that were also experiencing that with me, I think there would already be some semblance of a feeling of wholeness, because I would feel a feeling of togetherness and community. And then from there, it would be a matter of strategizing to figure out how we can create a shelter, ideally from like natural resources would be cool, if like the environment supports that, but enough there to provide like a proper shelter to keep safe, to keep warm, finding those possessions as quickly as possible. Ideally for free. If not, that's a longer answer, I think, to figure out how the way I can trade economically with something, to like build a structure up at some point. But I think it's just about redefining home, because it's one conversation to say I'm gonna be able to go get an apartment for myself or build a home for myself in that way, from like a stereotypical house structure. I think that would take a little bit longer, but I can very quickly create an environment, or at least some variation of an environment, that will allow me to prioritize my health, which is important to me, and prioritize my safety, and also build togetherness with people. I felt like that bar, while difficult, is much easier to achieve, and I feel like that's what's needed to build up home for myself. I think a real score, not a house I can go.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I have been homeless about 3 months ago. I was homeless, so for me it was a big deal. But what I found out is that when you are alone, you have legitimately nothing, that no resource for me, family couldn't help. So I just sleep on station. So what helped me is maybe just a little hand from someone that just light me up, or just say, hey, you need help. That is just like, oh, that's just warm my heart, warm my body.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.